Have you ever wondered why we dream? In the ancient world, dreams held a mysterious and divine significance. Let's start with the cradle of civilization, ancient Mesopotamia. Here, dreams were seen as much more than just figments of our imagination. They were considered messages from the gods or spirits. One of the oldest literary works, the Epic of Gilgamesh, even describes dreams as omens or divine communications. Similarly, in ancient Egypt, dreams held a sacred place in their culture. They were not just random thoughts playing out in our sleep, but were perceived as a means of communication between the living and the dead. The Egyptians thought that, in dreams, the veil between the physical and spiritual world was lifted, allowing for this unique interaction. But it wasn't just in these cultures that dreams were held in such high regard. Let's take a quick journey to the Greco-Roman era. Here we find philosophers like Aristotle and Plato offering a different perspective on dreams. They moved away from the divine and spiritual interpretations and instead saw dreams as a window into our own psyche and emotions. They proposed that dreams were a result of mental processes and could reveal hidden desires or fears. Dreams, in their view, were not messages from the gods, but messages from within ourselves. They were reflections of our unconscious mind, a concept that would later be embraced and expanded upon by psychologists in the modern era. So here we have a glimpse of how our ancestors viewed dreams. From divine messages to psychological insights, dreams were deeply significant in ancient cultures. As we move forward in time, we'll see how these interpretations evolve and change, just as our understanding of the world and ourselves continues to grow. But for now, let's pause and reflect on how the ancients, in their own way, tried to decode the mystery of dreams, setting the foundation for the centuries of dream exploration to come. So, from divine messages to psychological insights, dreams were deeply significant in ancient cultures. As time progressed into the Middle Ages, the interpretation of dreams took on a more religious hue. This era, spanning from the 5th to the 15th century, was deeply entwined with religious beliefs and spiritual practices, and these beliefs inevitably influenced how dreams were perceived. During this period, dreams were sometimes seen as a battleground between good and evil forces. This perspective was largely influenced by the strong Christian beliefs of the time. Dreams were thought to contain messages not from gods or spirits as in ancient cultures, but from either the divine or the demonic. A pleasant dream might be considered a blessing or a prophecy from God, while a nightmare could be viewed as a temptation or a deception from the devil. This concept of dreams as a spiritual battlefield was not just metaphorical. Many people in the Middle Ages took their dreams quite seriously, believing that they could have real-world consequences. For instance, a dream about committing a sin might lead a person to seek penance, even though the sin was only committed in the dream. But not all medieval interpretations of dreams were so dramatic. Some saw dreams as reflections of spiritual experiences, or as a means to understand one's moral standing. For example, a dream might be interpreted as a sign of one's virtue or vice, or as a revelation of one's spiritual state. It's important to note that these interpretations were not universally accepted, even within the same culture. Just as today, people in the Middle Ages had diverse beliefs and views about dreams. Some may have dismissed them as meaningless, while others might have attributed great significance to them. Despite these differences, one common thread runs through the medieval understanding of dreams. They were seen as deeply connected to the spiritual and moral life of the individual. Dreams were not just a random assortment of images and thoughts, but a reflection of one's soul and conscience. In the Middle Ages, dreams were seen as a spiritual or moral compass, guiding or warning the dreamer. Fast forward to the modern era, Sigmund Freud revolutionized our understanding of dreams. Known as the founder of psychoanalysis, Freud took us on a journey into the recesses of the mind where he proposed that dreams are expressions of unconscious desires and wishes. Freud's theories emerged in an age of Victorian prudishness, where many human desires were deemed inappropriate or unseemly. He argued that these suppressed desires didn't just disappear. Instead, they found their way into our dreams, creating a symbolic theater where these hidden impulses could play out. Freud suggested that dreams serve as a kind of safety valve for our psyche, a stage on which our unsatisfied wishes could be fulfilled in a symbolic way. This is what he called the process of wish fulfillment. You see, according to Freud, we all have wishes that we can't or won't fulfill in our waking lives, and dreams provide a venue for these wishes to be realized, albeit in a disguised form. He divided dreams into two components: the manifest content and the latent content. The manifest content is the actual storyline of the dream, the part we remember upon waking. The latent content, on the other hand, is the hidden symbolic meaning, the underlying wish that the dream is trying to fulfill. For instance, if you dream about flying, the act of flying is the manifest content. But the latent content, or the symbolic meaning, could be a desire for freedom or escape. Freud believed that by analyzing these dream symbols, we could uncover repressed desires and wishes, leading to a more profound understanding of our psyche. Now, it's important to mention that Freud's theories have been met with skepticism and controversy. Critics argue that his theories are unscientific and overly focused on sexual and aggressive impulses. However, these debates do not diminish the impact of Freud's work. His theories, while controversial, paved the way for a deeper psychological exploration of dreams, influencing generations of psychologists and researchers. Even today, his ideas continue to shape how we think about dreams, making him a fundamental figure in our ongoing quest to understand the enigmatic world of our unconscious mind. Freud's theory, while controversial, paved the way for a deeper psychological exploration of dreams. In the 1970s, a new theory emerged suggesting dreams are the result of random neural activity in our brains. This was a breakthrough in the field of dream research and represented a shift from the psychoanalytic interpretations of Freud. Two researchers, Alan Hobson and Robert McCarley, were at the helm of this innovative perspective, which they called the activation synthesis theory. In the throes of rapid eye movement, or REM sleep, a stage of sleep characterized by vivid dreaming, our brainstem is abuzz with random neural activity. This activity is not directed or purposeful, but is rather spontaneous and erratic. Hobson and McCarley proposed that it's this random activation of neurons that forms the basis of our dreams. Now, here's where things get interesting. The brain, being the meaning-making machine that it is, doesn't just let these random signals float aimlessly. Instead, it attempts to make sense of them, to weave them into a coherent narrative. This is the synthesis part of the activation synthesis theory. The brain takes these random signals and synthesizes them into a story, a dream that we experience when we're fast asleep. This theory offered a biological explanation for dreaming, suggesting that dreams are not laden with hidden meanings or unconscious desires, as Freud had proposed, but are rather the brain's attempt to create order from chaos, to construct a narrative from random neural activity. It's important to note, however, that while the activation synthesis theory provides a compelling explanation for the mechanics of dreaming, it doesn't necessarily negate the possibility that dreams may also serve psychological or cognitive functions. After all, the narratives our brains construct from these random signals might still offer insight into our emotions, thoughts, and experiences. Thus, dreams, according to the activation synthesis theory, are our brain's way of making sense of random signals. It's a fascinating perspective, one that underscores the complexity of the human brain and the intriguing mystery that is dreaming. More recent theories have emphasized the role of dreams in cognitive processes, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation. This is a significant departure from earlier theories that place dreams in the realm of divine messages or unconscious desires. The modern cognitive theory of dreams suggests that our nightly sojourns into the dream world play a crucial role in how we process and manage information. Think of dreams as a kind of mental housekeeping. Throughout the day, we're bombarded with a wealth of information, some of it important, some less so. When we sleep, our brains get to work, sorting through this information, deciding what to keep and what to discard. Dreams, in this view, serve as a way for the brain to process, organize, and integrate information acquired during waking hours. But cognitive theories don't stop there. They also propose that dreams help us regulate our emotions. Have you ever woken up from a dream feeling a sense of resolution about a problem that's been plaguing you? That's your brain using the dream state to work through emotional issues, helping you to wake up refreshed and ready to face the day. Another theory that's gained traction in recent years is the threat simulation theory. This theory suggests that dreams evolved as a survival mechanism, a way for our brains to simulate and practice responses to potential threats. In the safety of the dream world, we can rehearse for real-world dangers, honing our reactions and enhancing our survival skills. In the realm of dreams, science continues to evolve, unraveling the complex tapestry of our minds each night. While the exact function of dreams remains a subject of ongoing debate, these modern theories offer fascinating insights into the potential roles that dreams may play in our cognitive processes and emotional well-being. As we continue to delve into the science of dreams, one thing is certain: our nightly dreams are more than just idle fantasies. They are a vital part of our mental life, a mysterious and intriguing aspect of our human nature.